What's going on, YouTube? Wavy Drew back with another video, man. Before I get into the video, you already know how it goes. Click the link in the description so we can set up a one-on-one consultation to make you the undeniable man. If you want to know what that is, click down below, watch the video, and it'll explain everything to you, right? And then we can set up a call and go from there. I just finished up working out at Metroflex, right? It's an old school powerlifting gym, right? I really like coming and just, really grinding, really putting in that work. You guys know me. If you watch my other videos, you understand that I genuinely love putting in the work, and this is one of the places that I can operate on that level, right? And besides getting a good lift, besides just leaving it all on the table, right, I kept getting these messages and I kept going back and forth with an old, I want to say friend, but he was more of a coworker that I had. And when I was working with him, I just felt like he couldn't really compete with me. He didn't look better than me. He wasn't taller than me. He wasn't stronger than me. He didn't put in more work than me, right? We had the same boss. He wasn't really making any more money than me. I don't want to sit up here and just say I'm better than him. And as much as I believe we are all equal in God's image, right, I just didn't feel like he was putting in more hours than me. Therefore, I thought I was just better in every metric. But I didn't really view him as competition. But it turns out that he wasn't really fucking with me. I knew the whole time, but I just didn't really feel the need to say anything back. And that's what I want to get into today, guys. You guys have to garner your respect. There would be times where he would say like subtle remarks and I always let it slide. I posted a video and he made a smart ass remark in my comment section, right? So I finally decided to just let it all out, because the audacity to even comment on my post on something that I take seriously, on something that I'm trying to grind on something that I'm putting my life, my feelings, everything on the line so I could try and level myself up on the internet, almost like an embarrassment ritual, right? And he has the audacity to try and step on me when I'm trying to build something. So I texted him and we're going back and forth and he's just ruining my whole gym flow. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I should have gotten my respect early. I should have made it known that I am not the person that you could fuck with. Unless you're on a level that's better than me, unless I allow you to, or unless I respect you, you cannot criticize me. You cannot tell me anything if you haven't done it yourself. So I finally went off with him and then he ended up blocking me because he finally understood what the fuck was going on. You guys need to garner your respect before they think you're a bitch. Let me explain that a little more. A lot of you guys are waiting for your moment. A lot of you guys are growing up thinking you're going to run into that big bad wolf, that big bad bully who's going to bully you in front of the school, and you're going to have your moment, you're going to stand up to him and you're going to fight him, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. That is not reality. Disney Channel has you guys so fucked up. That is not the truth. That is not how the real world works. There will never be a moment like that. Very rarely there will be a moment like that to where you're fighting up the big bad bully of the school, the jock of the school, and you're just the little dweeb, you're the little... That will never happen. Most of the time, a lot of these bigger guys are actually really cool. What's crazy and what they don't want to tell you is it's actually the nerds. It's actually the ones who are lame, who start a lot of drama, who talk the most shit. They don't tell you this. Why don't they tell you this stuff? I had a coworker who was doing the same thing. Right, I started my job, I was cool with everybody, I was cool with him, and then I found out that behind my back he was talking shit, he was doing this and doing that, and I heard from multiple people, right, that I actually am close with, so obviously I'm gonna take their side. That just makes the most sense. Why would they come up to me and lie to try and start drama? I kept hearing things, and then I finally decided to confront him. A lot of these guys, the guys who really aren't on the level, and they're not on your level because they're talking behind your back, they're not on your level because they can't confront you, because the threat of getting beat up, the threat of a physical confrontation, it's too serious for them. It's too dangerous. So they would much rather try and slander you in a different way, right? By making stupid smart ass remarks and then talking behind your back. Until I finally decided to confront them, and then it was different. And then the guy blocked me. And then my coworker, finally confessed and said this and said that. He's like, oh, I actually like you. Just completely switched the tide as soon as there's some type of confrontation. As soon as there's some type of accountability for the way that they've been acting, they're terrified. That's why you would consider these people bitches. Because it's like a girl. As soon as their accountability comes, they start running away from it. They would much rather stick to the sideline, stick to, oh, he's not really that good. Oh, he's not really that buff. Or he's a big dumb idiot. Just because I look good and I work out, why does that make me an idiot? That makes me better than you. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are thinking, oh, why don't you just ignore him? Why don't you just forget about it? Just shake it off. Lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. I want you guys to understand that 99% of the people in this world are sheep. 99% of the people in this world are sheep. What does that mean? It means that your manager's a sheep. It means that your boss is a sheep. It means that most of your coworkers are most likely sheep, and sheep flock together. So if you have this one sheep running around spreading rumors about you, true or not true, then you have to go and you have to kill that sheep. Not only to set an example for all the other sheep to not fuck with you, but to also cut the head off the snake. I know I'm using all of these analogies. What the fuck do you mean when you say that, Drew? What I'm saying is that, yes, it's one sheep, but eventually it'll be two. Eventually it'll be three. Right? And eventually, because that sheep complains so much, says something so much that the other ones might start to believe it. If the sheep has something to say about the lion every single day, right? If the people who gossip about you say something to the teacher every single day, eventually they're gonna start thinking that maybe this person's right. If this person has so much to complain about, maybe he is right. Let me check it out. Let me double back and make sure Andrew really isn't lazy and dumb. So let me start watching him more critically. Right? And then you have one day where you're sick and you have to call out. And then there goes the sheep, right? Running around to the other sheep, running around to the boss, saying, hey, see, I told you he was going to call out. I told you he's probably out partying. He's probably out doing this. He's probably out doing that. And then the manager, right, he's sitting there, he's thinking. And then the boss, right, he's sitting there, he's thinking, yeah, it is Saturday. You know, yeah, he could have called out. Yeah, that is true. I'm gonna give him one more try, right? You show up 1 minute late, 2 minutes late. Everybody makes mistakes. So if you go and you make these small mistakes, now the boss is already critically looking at you. So eventually they're going to start teaming up together and actually thinking that you are that person that they're saying you are. That is why it's important to get your respect now. As soon as they start making those little remarks, you gotta shut that down. Because if you just snap at them right away, they're gonna think you're crazy. They're gonna think you're everything that they said that you were, right? Oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's just a big musclehead. Oh, he's just a big jog. Oh, he's just this. Oh, he just thinks he's all that. He thinks he can just snap. He's a naturally aggressive person. Oh, we don't want to keep this guy. He just wants to fight all the time. That is what they're going to think about you, right? So how do you prevent this? There's a strategical way to break down rats like this, okay? What you want to do is you want to show your teeth. By show your teeth, I mean think like a dog, right? If a dog just snaps and bites you right away, everybody's going to be like, oh, he's an aggressive feral dog. Put him down. So they have to put him down, right? But if you just slowly show that you're not comfortable with something, right? A little remark, right? Show your teeth a little bit, just like a dog. Like when you're petting him and he's eating, he's gonna give you a little growl. He's gonna show you little teeth. He's gonna let you know, hey, back off because I will bite. And then you get the note to back the fuck off. Even a little baby who's playing with the dog, as soon as you start growling, they know I'm not gonna do that anymore. That sounds threatening. That sounds like something I shouldn't fuck with, right? So as soon as I make a little remark, make a joke back. Make a remark back. Put them in their place a little bit. It doesn't have to be too personal. It doesn't have to do too much. Just make something, just make a small remark back to let you know that I will stand my ground. Don't do what I did. Don't just laugh it off thinking that this is a nonsensical remark, because that's what I used to do. I used to think that I'm going to ignore the haters. You can't do that. You gotta stand your ground. You gotta let people know that you are not somebody that you can mess with. Because if not, everybody's going to think you're a bitch. And it's all of these sheep versus one lion. And when they all band together, you're not gonna be able to do anything anymore. Because it's a 20v1. And now you're caught up like me, going back and forth in this big argument, you know, having to embarrass somebody, having to put somebody in their place, you know, texting paragraphs and doing all this and that in the middle of the gym because they're acting disrespectful and they think you're a bitch. So that means I have to do something about it, right? Being a bitch, that means I gotta fight for my respect now. If you think I'm a bitch, those are fighting words where I'm from. You can't be talking like that. You can't do things like that, right? If you're gonna sit behind my back and snitch me out and do little things behind my back, those are fighting acts. You can't just do something like that, right? You're messing with the man's job. You're messing with the man's pay. So you can go make a little friends because you're jealous. You're gonna fuck with how a man feeds himself, how a man puts his food on the table. Are you crazy? The audacity of people nowadays is insane. That's why you have to show your teeth. That's why you have to show your teeth, right? The second thing that you need to do, right, is eventually start to growl. Do it again. Show your teeth. Go in on them a little more. Stand your ground. Maybe even speak up a little louder, right? Or bring somebody else into the conversation, right? You have to put them in the place. But at the third time, if they really keep fucking with you, you have to take action. and take that as you want. For me, that means confront them and let them know that you know what's going on, and you're gonna give them a chance to stop, right? Because there's no more going back and forth and making little jokes, doing this and that. Like, no, it's real. Like, I know what the fuck is going on. Do we have a problem? And if we have a problem, we're gonna settle this. One way or another, it's gonna get settled, right? And normally it might be a little awkward at first. There might be like that awkward silence, awkward tension, but that's good. You want that. And most of the times they're gonna apologize. Most of the time they're gonna come to their senses, because the whole reason that they were doing that in the first place is because they don't want confirmation. But when you bring that to them as a man, then their walls come tumbling down. I'm not telling you to get up and fight somebody. You know, I'm not telling you to do that. Has it gotten to that point with me before? Yes, it has, but I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to take action, whatever that means to you. If that means letting the managers know, if that means confronting that, take that how you want. But you gotta show your teeth, and then you gotta bite. That's what the fuck I mean by that. That is how you gain respect. Because if you don't get up and gain respect, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the people that you think wouldn't say anything that really will say anything. It blows my mind. It literally blows my fucking mind. But these are the ones who are talking down on you, and you have to gain respect, or else it'll actually come to your detriment. Being the nice guy is actually selfish. Being the nice guy is actually bitching out. It doesn't do anybody a service. Read the book No More Nice Guy, and it will go into depths explaining why being the nice guy is actually being bad. It's actually negative. It's actually a sin. Jesus was not a nice guy. You have to stand for something. You have to stand up for yourself or fall for nothing. Wavy Drew, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys like the lighting of this car. I think I'm gonna get a Tesla soon. I like the lighting for the cameras, but I'm out, y'all. Wavy Drew. Stay tuned for the next video. Click the link in the description. The New Year's in a few days. Let's get it.